are going to be talking about the different interior design styles.
I'm very excited about
the
today.
hot ones in 2025. When I think about maximalism, I'm like, I want to be friends with them.
Oh, for sure.
You know, like
It's like super
stories
interesting.
they have.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way more fun. I love it when we get a client that's just like, house isn't, even like we install them, they're like, we're not done. I'm like, no, we're not. We're just getting started.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Dear Alice. We are going to be talking about the different interior design styles.
I'm very excited about
the
today.
hot ones in 2025.
The
Our
true
thoughts on
Hollywood
them.
story.
Uh-huh.
Each one.
Behind interior design styles. Do you want me to
Yes.
tell you something, you guys? I learned the definition of a style. I didn't know what postmodern meant.
Yeah.
Like, I knew it was like post-war and whatever. I was picturing it being like concrete walls and kind of brutalist and very minimal.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to get into this podcast.
Yeah.
I learned something, and I feel like today everybody's kind of all about personal style. When I see people getting dressed, different influencers and whatnot, their take on it is so fun and fresh because it's their personal style. And so we hope that some of these terms are going to help you define what your personal style is. And maybe you just didn't know what it was called. Like, I didn't really realize what postmodern was. And we have different ways of describing it. So we're going to get in here and we're going to talk about the top 10 styles that are really hot right now in 2025 and give you a term for this as you sort of discuss it. And one of these is going to really resonate with you. As we were going through that, I was like, this is so you, Sue. Or you're probably like 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah, but say I'm like,
You're like
don't be sad about kind of mixing them, because like your style is personal, and so you can have influences from this and influences from this and make it your own.
Yes, and it's even more interesting, I think, when we do the mashup. And we've
Brangelina that, you know.
Brangelina that.
Whatever.
Exactly. Yeah, so let's dive into it.
Yes.
Sweet.
Okay.
So the first one is modern rustic farmhouse, which is not modern farmhouse.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So
let's
define
We
this.
do
Let's go,
need to
go, go.
clarify this, because when you talk about the top styles of 2025, you're like, modern farmhouse ain't it. It's not it. It made people sad. The big HGTV article came out in the New York Times last year saying how sad it made everybody to have white walls and black windows. This is not that.
Yep.
The modern rustic farmhouse, our good friend Sue Hall over here lives in the modern rustic farmhouse.
I do.
Not because it's a trend, but
No.
because it sincerely resonates with your being. And you found this incredible 1970s property with a barn on it, a full acre of land, and you have made it so dope and so
is
you.
fun.
Yeah. Do you want to define the style?
I want to say just like the whole farmhouse. I think that is just like I think you mentioned that like this. What was it, kind of homesteading, you know, like that was kind of a big like word, and we're all just like, we all want to like keep our own bees and like make sourdough bread and have a garden and
Have
chickens and
yeah.
like, and which like, I love that idea. I love that not everyone can have that, but I have that happening all around me. So like when this like property became available, we're like, Doy, like this is like the most fun and feels like the best thing to have a barn for our boys and to just like, and I think it goes along with a more relaxed person. I think the person that has this style is more relaxed or wants to be more relaxed because it's just a more casual way of living. And I think the surfaces are a little bit more humble, and you're okay with like a little bit of a mess. Not everything is like tight and postured because it's farmhouse living. So I think that also goes along with like the rustic. If you like Sundance, if you like that mountain living, this is also that. Modern farmhouse was what we all like, was just like soft sadness. Like we're all over it. But it was just like really crisp and optic and like that hard contrast of bright white to, you know, really, really dark. And like I didn't believe it. I didn't think it was believable.
I was just going to say not a farmhouse at all.
No, it wasn't a farmhouse. And so I think like this, we're just trying to correct that terminology now and saying rustic farmhouse, which I'm totally all about.
Yeah.
And I think it's a really honest way of living. And I'm totally into the trend, if you will. But I don't know if we want to we have really great definitions. We can kind of really define this for you. It says modern rustic farmhouse design is a style that blends the cozy, welcoming elements of a traditional farmhouse decor with the clean lines and contemporary touches of modern design, which means basically we're a farmhouse, but we're living in the 21st century. So that's what that means.
You get this charm of rural living, but then you have a polish of living in the modern day.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? But yours was built in the 70s, truly rural, before Highland was even much of a city. This was some of the first homesteads in the city of Highland, and they moved out there because nobody was there and that's what they wanted, right? Since then, it's become completely enclosed with tons of busy neighborhoods, houses, places to eat, car washes, all of the modern day convenience. So that's the modern side of it, but you still have this honest, rusticated, just really beautiful natural light, big trees, really mature landscape.
We have irrigation. We have water shares. We have it's like being off the grid, but being close to the freeway.
And in a modern setting.
Yeah.
And then all of the changes that you're making to it today are modernized by the new plumbing fixtures and tying into the city sewage system.
We're not on septic anymore.
Yeah. Really, Suze has, cows on both sides of her, right? Like little hobby cows. Yeah. And it's really, really charming and a fun way to raise kids. And I think
we don't have sidewalks.
Yeah.
If you don't have sidewalks, just consider yourself you're living the modern rustic farmhouse life.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
That's
What else
awesome.
to say? They say it honors handcrafted materials, natural textures, and a grounded way of life while keeping the look fresh, clean, and quietly refined. So think of it as warmth meets structure, lived in meets edited.
I love
and
that.
we have a few images if you guys are watching this podcast on Spotify or on YouTube. And this is a style that Arc Digest wants right now. All the publications are asking for, and it is really honest, but still so chic.
It's very
depending on
editorial.
How you spin it. Yeah,
yeah. I'm like it's the discipline and just the ease of the styling that's so fantastic.
It has like soulfulness to it too.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah.
The food is going to be farm to table. Like their eggs are fresh. You know.
Yep.
The smell is like fresh cut grass.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you can hear the bees in the trees
Yes,
through the
you
windows.
can hear the bees from the trees.
And I'll say this, one thing that we've learned, we've probably said it here a million times, is that glam is out. So this really perfect, overly polished lifestyle is something that the magazines do not want. This is a story that they want to tell right now. And oddly enough, not oddly, but in sync enough with this is these are the things that are really popping up, I think, on these huge Instagram accounts is people making bread and people,
Milking cows.
Country music has never been hotter.
Feeding chickens.
I'm going to say,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. So there's this huge
Post Malone's,
I know,
yeah.
seriously.
this huge resurgence toward this, and of course the way of life goes right along with it. So this trend is called modern rustic farmhouse.
Yep, and they forage those branches from the tree outside.
Of course, or
Yes,
they would
they did.
forage wildflowers.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, they would never buy them.
Okay,
Though you do buy them.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
But notice, I'm like, there's not a lot of rugs because again, they probably have boots on and they're probably dragging in some dirt. So I'm just saying, like a lot of these are just like it's just a little bit like less layered, a little bit more humble, more honest materials, plaids.
Warmth.
I think all the stains are just exposed. And then there's this last one that is again, it's a little bit more about. I wanted to put this in here just because there was one article that I read that I resonate with a lot as far as just like you still are involving just like I guess the year and era that the farmhouse was, whether it was colorful, was all in tile, which I resonated with because I'm like, I have a 1970s farmhouse. So when it was time to do my bathroom remodels, I was just like, I'm going to lean into the 1970s. I'm going to go color drenching. And if I could have gotten the plumbing suite in blue and green, I would have, I'm sure. But just like to really just kind of embrace, again, the honest material all around you, be it wood, be it tile, be it paint, be it whatever, plaster, whatever it is. There's a real honesty about having just like one honored material kind of surrounding you. So I love this picture. I love, again, the setting's incredible. But again, it's just honest. I know exactly what it is. It's easy.
Tell the people that are listening what they're seeing.
Jess is so good at that. I'm sorry, I forget sometimes, y'all. Right now we're looking at like this like setting. It's, I don't know where it's at, but like there's fields and rolling and trees and everything and this massive picture window. And we just have a simple run of dining chairs on a dining table with beautiful greens. And the whole thing is some type of TNG that wraps up and around the whole space. And it's painted in this like really kind of citron green. And I just think it's so beautiful. It feels fresh. I feel the grass inside. So again, I think, even if it's not a natural material like a wood, I use natural colors. Green tile, blue tile, like colors that you see when you look out the window. Pulling that inside, I think, is part of this whole movement of this rustic farmhouse. And like, I just love that image so much. Okay.
The next one is maximalism.
Maximalism.
Yes. Yeah.
And you can be both. You can be a maximalist
Yeah.
farmhouse.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. I have to say this. When I think about maximalism, I'm like, I want to be friends with them.
Oh, for sure.
You know, like
It's like super
stories they
interesting.
have.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way more fun.
totally. You're like, I'm bored. I'm going over to her house.
Mhm.
I'm gonna lay on her couch and she's gonna gossip to me and tell me all the stories of her days back when, or
And I'm going to
whatever.
peek inside all the boxes that she has stacked. So
Oh,
I know she has
there's
cool
stories.
collections.
She's got candy. She's got
Yeah.
cigarettes in one. She's got
Yeah.
stories in another.
She has pictures in another.
She's got brooches on. She
From that
wears
one night.
wigs.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's got high heels and all the things. Like
Yep.
this person is an
There's not an empty closet.
absolute blast.
So,
Yeah.
mhm.
This I really, really love this design style. Sue, will you define maximalism for us?
I sure will. Maximalism. Maximalist design is a bold and exuberant style that embraces abundance, layering, and vibrant elements, celebrating more is more instead of the minimalist less is more approach. It's characterized by the use of bold colors, clashing patterns, which I love,
Mhm.
and a curated collection of unique items to create visually rich and personalized spaces.
Love.
I love that. I love clashing and I love curating.
What do you think?
And
so
bold,
good.
And the boldness
Bold.
of it. Curated. They're just
Yes.
always collecting. The room's
Mhm.
never done.
I know, which is really, really fun. I love it when we get a client that's just like, house isn't, even like we install and they're like, we're not done. I'm like, no, we're not. We're just getting started.
Yep.
So
It can. I think maximalism can feel cluttered, but what's the key to like?
It only
The
feels
organization of
cluttered
it.
if you're not a maximalist,
Okay.
which you are not. 'Cause you
Okay,
just call it
yeah.
cluttered, right?
Yeah. I mean,
they call it curated clutter.
okay.
Like a lot of
Yeah.
like magazines and like articles out there.
Mhm.
Yeah. And this person's never met a stranger. They just like,
Yep.
you know what I mean?
Yep.
They're talkative. They're in your business. They're comfortable asking you
all-
any questions.
Everyone knows. Yeah. Everyone knows
you
a
want a
maximalist.
maximalist at every party,
Mhm.
you know, because they're going to keep the conversation going. They're gonna be holding court in the corner with a bunch of ladies and telling them stories.
Yeah.
And you know they're dressed like they're dressed.
The layers.
To
y'all.
the nines.
and
Yeah.
the story
So good.
and the outfit itself could do the talking, but they're
Mhm.
also doing the work in every way. They're doing the most, you
Yep.
know.
Yep.
I love this.
I will say when I'm doing my own styling, because I have a lot of stuff and I have to like put things in piles away and I'm just trying to analyze that right now. I'm like, how do I keep it from like feeling too much? And like, you always have to, I'm like looking at this image that's on the screen, which is like this beautiful, like library living setting that we're looking at right now.
Three
Has
chandeliers.
three chandeliers,
Yeah.
incredible, colorful rug. And they have a lot of different, they have like two benches, like a bunch of benches around the center table with all these books stacked. What makes it not feel cluttered is the fact that they organize the space planning to be straights on this one. If
I would say
everything,
the
if
stacks
everything,
are all
this
straight,
the
as well.
stacks are straight, like they have everything kind of like gridded and angled. And if those were like at angles or you start doing weird stuff like that, that's when it becomes cacophonous and it's not organized clutter. You have to keep some stuff on the straights, which I find myself doing a lot is like in my book arranging, I keep everything straight. I'm not putting it on an angle. I'm keeping things lined up and layered underneath things so that at least, even though there's a lot, it at least feels organized. So I think that that's one tip when you are like styling furniture or accessories is just to like, don't worry about like, I'm going to cock it on an angle. Things will land the way they land. And that's like the beautiful thing about maximalism is you're going to get trinkets and you're going to collect and put things here and there. But to have like an organized base layer.
You want organized chaos. That is
But especially
maximalism.
that organized base layer
That's
is
why it's
so
hard.
important. And then like you can just like have a party on
Keep
top
going. Yeah.
and keep putting stuff on top.
And
But
you're never done. She's never done shopping.
Mm.
It's the space is never finished.
she's so
Yeah.
fun.
So fun.
Maximalist, if you want to hang out, like we're ready. This last one, Jess, when you first saw this, you're like, this feels very K-Dub. Yeah.
When I think of Kelly Wearstler, I don't always think of her as a maximalism. And I don't know if this is her own residence or somebody that is a maximalist that she worked for, but there is a fun tension going on between, she's got her Channels wallpaper on the ceiling. She's got this incredible finish work of dental molding on top of dental molding happening, paneling on the walls. All of the rugs are different. And then she has all different eras of furniture happening.
But she has a lot of pairs, which organizes it.
Also, let me just say, everything in the
Yes.
room is expensive.
Yeah.
Which also feels really good in
I know.
maximalism.
More,
Otherwise,
more
can,
is more.
it
More
can just-
expensive on more expensive, please.
Yes, that is the maximalism that we love,
Yeah,
right? Otherwise,
yeah.
it's a garage sale,
Yeah.
and it's happening in my basement, and let's just call it maximalism.
Yeah, exactly. That's a garage sale disguise. Yeah, it's maximalism.
totally. I'm like, I got something that's not good looking happening down there. Which is more is
Maximalism
more.
disguised as a yard sale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Maximalism in yard sale
I do
clothing.
think what you're saying, Sue's uniforming things, pairs of things, symmetry. within maximalism. And then you can go ahead and have those patterns fight top and bottom with each other. And that becomes art and design.
Even the organization of, again, these like two blue leather channeled sofas mirroring each other, like that strict organization, that repeat, like organizes the eye to absorb everything else around it. Like that's done well.
That is done well.
High five, Kelly. You know what you're doing. Like it's really good. We know. It's good. You should think about making this full time.
Hey guys, this is the dark horse for me on the list. Postmodern. I said to Suze, let's just skip postmodern because who cares about concrete walls and sadness? You know, that's what I thought postmodern was. Guys, postmodern is, I think, the star of the show.
Brutalist is dope too. I just want to say, like in the whole postmodern. But postmodern, do you want to define it for them?
I sure do.
My friend.
Postmodern design emerged in the late 1970s and peaked in the 1980s and early 90s as a reaction against the rigid rules and minimalism of modernism. Where modernism favored function, restraint, and rationality, postmodernism embraced expression, irony, and visual complexity.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. So postmodernism is a really good time. And if you're watching, then you're getting to see some of the fun, wacky things going on. Sue, do you want to narrate what they're looking for? And I'm going to give them a few.
Okay. I think postmodern is a lot of like sculptural pieces, like either like with global influence, artist influence, abstractions, things like that. What we're looking at right now is like this really cool living space, which I love what they did on the ceiling too. They created this like lid with this tray and a pinstripe on the top. I just had to say that out loud because I'm like, it's a really cool like lift on that room. And then the chandelier, like you see the chandelier coming down, and I don't know if it's just like this woven or rattan, like all these arms are like stretching out of it. So it feels like it's art.
Yeah.
Like all the pieces look like art.
Yes.
Which I think is so fantastic. And the profiles are interesting. And again, it's nothing that you would be able to like create a formula for. I don't think postmodern. I think it is all in the mix of gathering these different items that feel like art on art on art.
I love that. So good. Shapes are exaggerated, abstracted, or whimsical, and designers broke the form follows function rule.
Yeah.
Sometimes form came first, but they're really into clashing hues, graphic patterns, vivid palettes were embraced.
Color blocking.
Yes.
That's why we like color blocking. So
that is why we like it. There also is a material mashup. So laminate with marble, chrome with lacquer, plastic next to wood, high meets low, glossy meets raw, ornamentation was back, and surface treatments, whether marbled, mirrored, patterned, they were all celebrated. So
I'm so into it.
Yeah, postmodern design.
Even like, can you go back to that last one, Cor? But even here, like with all these things, notice the two main chairs and the sofa are the same.
Yeah.
So again, you have these uniforming things and you're okay seeing repeat, but then you have all these like just one-off art pieces just like smattered between them.
And I think
it's so fantastic.
The shapes
the
are
contrast
what is jumping out to me. Like obviously that chandelier, which is like 18 different arms holding light bulbs. There's a sculpture in the corner. There's a triangle cocktail table. You really see the arms of that red chair. So you're seeing these shapes that are really standing out. Even though there's uniformity happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
It's so fun. It's rule breaking. It's layered. It's expressive. It values attitude over purity and personality over perfection. If modernism was tailored black suit, postmodernism is fashionable, editorial, unexpected, ironic, and unforgettable.
Yep. This is like the outfit at the Grammys that like everybody's just like, did you see? Yes, they did. This next picture that we're looking at, again, it's just like, I love this play on stripes that again, none of them match, but you see this like repeated, principle of the stripe on the wall. You see the stripe in the rug and you see that stripe on that sofa.
It is weird. It is so fantastic. That is.
It is. I'm just like, normally like you'd put all those and you might feel like cacophonous, but when you get it all together and you just unapologetically like shut the door and you're just like, this is me, it's dope. It's so good.
And I feel like it is design. Like this does not feel like amateur hour, even though it could really first. You know what I mean? It could first. I feel like this also, when we were first pulling all images out, and granted, none of these are Kelly Wearstler, but I feel like this hits the nail on the head for how do you define Kelly's style? I would say is postmodern. It's breaking all the rules. It's having fun. It's using unexpected materials together. It's really focusing on those shapes and like the repeated clashing patterns and all of that.
Even the ceiling, that like repeated stamp. You have the repeated globes on the light fixture, but then you have these color blocking out so you really understand the shapes. You guys, I just want to say something really fast. Like, hopefully you're starting to define your own style as we're talking about these things. I always knew, and I think you're the same way, where we're not like a ton of pattern. Like we like more color blocking because I like a lot of items. I like a lot of art and stuff. So everything in my house, yes, it's opinionated, but like I had like a solid pink rug, solid, just this sculpture over here, this sculpture, da, da, da. Anyway, I just recently replaced my pink rug with another pink rug that had a pattern in it, and it feels like a mariachi band is on my floor. Y'all,
Awesome.
like it is really cute, and my eyeballs are getting used to it. But I'm just like, I miss my solid pink rug. Or there's just something about just like having, I think this will be great as far as forgiveness for the season that I'm in. But you kind of like, as you start to like experiment and pull things in here, like it's okay for you to say, that's not me. This one was more me, and just like, I think that's a really good exploration as you're trying to figure out who you are. Because that was just like further validation and like what I knew.
Yeah.
But then I was like following Jess, and I'm just like, this is what this looks like, right? It's not quite me. What are your thoughts?
Awesome.
I'm like,
sounds like,
formulaically,
but I own it.
but I would say
So it
I'm
is
like
now.
formulaic. Like it has all the right colors. It has like everything that should make it great for somebody else's brain, just not mine.
Isn't it cool though that you
Yeah.
know your personal style?
Yeah.
Because anybody else could put a pink rug to replace a pink rug and they're like, I did it. I completed the task. But because you're so in tune with your personal style, you're like, I'm not a pattern.
Yeah.
Because you know where your pattern comes from? All your art.
No, I'm like, I don't even see my little African chair anymore. You don't see the line
Yeah.
work. You
Yeah.
don't see the line work anymore.
Which is like a piece of sculpture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It kind of hijacked your brain.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
anyway, it's good to just try and really narrow down what your eyeballs like. Really stare at a lot of images and understand these things so that you can define who you are, so that you make a better decision on your next buying machine, like buying, trip.
Edit
Anyway.
things out that aren't feeling like
Dude, Marie
like
Kondo,
you.
that was, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if it does not bring you joy, get rid of it.
I'll go over to Susan's house next. It'll be in the basement.
I told that to
with Legos all over it.
It's so funny. I told Tom that night after we put it down. He like just got it all down, and I was just like, "You're gonna hate me." I'm just like,
It's the worst.
I don't.
It's the worst when you have your husband do a project for you and you're like,
You're just like,
yeah, I don't like it.
it's not.
That's
I
hilarious.
don't think it's right. And he was so cool. Like, this is like what 20 years of marriage. He's just like, we can put it in the basement. And it was just like, bless
Exactly.
you. Like, anyway,
Tom is the
it's a
best.
great rug.
Yeah, it is.
But I should put a picture of that next to the other.
More postmodern.
yes.
This is the sofa that everybody just
The
loves
Bellini.
and covets.
It's so
Yeah.
good.
Mm.
That
Yes.
modular line. But again, just that repeat. That's why it was so modular, because you could like expand it everywhere and it kind of just becomes backdrop noise. Still sculptural.
Those of you listening, you know the sofa that kind of looks like it's almost like a Lego brick,
like
but
a
it's
marshmallow.
bubbly. It's marshmallowy, and everybody wants it right now. And it has these like cool little chrome sort of details on the side that wrap around it and also emphasize the bubbliness of it. This, of course, is hitting right in that pocket of these shapes. It's not form follows function. It's it's just like so fun to look at, and you can just happen to sit
And
on
so
it as well.
like you want to go sit on it.
Yeah.
Like and
I
have
mean,
it just wrap yourself.
just like the
Yeah.
ultimate postmodern feeling. So fun. Once again, same sofa, but this one's in leather, and
This one's a little bit more cacophonous, like and it's
this rug
like,
feels so 1980s. The lamp also feels so 80s. Yeah. The unapologetic use of color, just a lot of fun. So postmodern, super expressive, very designer. It's eclectic in a different way, and you can spin it to be more maximalist or more minimalist, but you're really focusing on all of these fun, playful shapes, sculpture as like you're living in with sculpture.
I think all of us have a little bit of this, like
Yeah.
some of this in our soul.
Yeah.
Suze, I heard you got Cozy Earth's new luxury blanket, and I want you to tell us about it.
I did. It's my very favorite new toy. It's the Bubble Cuddle Blanket from Cozy Earth, and it's this faux fur that is the softest blanket I've ever experienced. All my family, we all go downstairs and we watch movies together almost every night in the summer, and we all fight over our blanket. And I think I won. I have the Bubble Cuddle, and it is so soft and furry, and I love it so much.
Cozy Earth also has amazing bamboo sheets that come with a 100-night sleep trial. So try them out. If you don't love them, return them hassle-free. There's also a 10-year warranty, because once you feel this level of comfort, you'll want it to last a decade. So head to cozyearth.com and use our code Dear Alice for up to 40% off. That's cozyearth.com, code Dear Alice. And if you get a post-purchase survey, make sure to let them know you heard about Cozy Earth right here. Because your bed should be more than a place to sleep. It should be your happy place. Cozy Earth makes that possible. The next
Bohemian.
one, Bohemian.
Okay, Bohemian,
Yeah.
you guys, this was part of the SEO search that y'all are loving Bohemian still.
This is Suzanne's favorite. Suzanne went through a Bohemian era when she was in college.
You have to get your wiggles out, y'all.
Yes. Do
I
you wanna,
did.
It's part of learning.
It
Yeah.
is part of learning. Do you want to tell them what you had in your dorm room
Yeah.
or your first
ooh.
apartment?
Well, I'll tell you, yeah, growing up, like, this was in like even high school. Like I had a
Oh, it
hammock.
was high school. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a hammock. I had a
Mm.
bunk bed and I got rid of the top bunk and I put a hammock.
Why
wouldn't
not?
you?
Yeah.
Doy. I had glow in the dark stars like hung from like strings and nailed into my ceiling. I burned incense. I had a strobe light and I had a beaded curtain.
You've been everything.
I've done it all.
Yeah.
I've done
So
it all.
I do
So-
think of Bohemian design or boho. This is a free-spirited, eclectic interior design approach that emphasizes personal expression and individuality. I do feel like a young emerging Suzanne Hall, just
Little
coming
girls are figuring
out of
things
the
out.
nest. Yeah, but you
It
see the
is.
style and you're like, oh my gosh, I have to. My mom never lived like this. This is me, right? You want the opposite of how you were raised. And so all of a sudden you've got vibrant color and pattern and texture, and you've got all these natural materials, often woven things or handmade things,
Yeah.
right? You've had all those bracelets on your arm. You're like, now I made a bracelet. I can make a hammock.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's so crafty.
Yeah.
Right?
It is
Yeah.
But usually with natural materials, you've got some,
You got macrame.
there's real
You got-
freeform,
yeah.
layered. And I do
I
think
crocheted something in
every
here.
single
Like,
girl
Yeah.
at some point in their life has been boho.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Absolutely.
And
yeah.
she like maybe didn't even comb her hair for a while. She was like, I'm doing dreads.
I'm gonna
Yep.
see what
You know?
happens.
Mhm.
yeah.
It's the summer. No one cares.
Succulents
I was about to say, I'm
and-
like, I feel very like Urban Outfitters. And
Yeah.
ironically, I remember like being in Santa Monica on the promenade and going into Urban Outfitters in this phase of my life.
Yes.
Mhm.
So it all
And it was
tracks.
iconic.
It's
You know,
kind of like
I was just like, this is me. You know, when you're like a kid and you're just like, this
I belong.
is me.
Yeah.
You know, you watch Saved by the Bell and you're like, that's me.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is.
Friends.
Just like them.
There,
Yeah.
I found my fold.
Every girl has been
We've all
boho
bought the
at
succulents.
at
We've
some
all done it.
point.
Yep.
Definitely. And so I can see how that's trending for someone at some point in their life. It's part of being, I was going to say it's part of girlhood. But
Yeah.
Corey, I don't know, did you experience that as a boy? Did you ever crave
Um,
boho?
no.
You wanted
I
chrome
didn't.
nightstands.
Yeah. Yeah.
As a young boy.
Yeah,
So-
exactly.
That's right.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love it. This is more example of boho. I don't know what we're looking
I mean,
at
like a
here.
southwesterny like pattern like rug too. Yeah. Yeah. Cactus.
It does feel
A lot
very
of cacti.
southwestern, woven in
Little hanging
tables,
chair,
leather
yeah.
sofa with a
Right.
hide over the top of
You
it.
probably have a peacock
Plants.
chair around the corner.
Most plants that
Yes.
you've ever
Yep.
experienced. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hanging
the air in here is
succulents.
crazy.
And
Yeah.
you can see
So
the
good.
chair hanging from the ceiling. That's the
Mhm.
vibe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Some
fun.
driftwood
It
maybe.
smells like dirt.
Yeah. 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 Exactly.
Yeah.
Or incense.
You know, incense
from the
for
Ross
sure.
Rastafarian bishop that you bought it from on the
Yeah.
promenade.
Yeah.
Cleanliness is
True
a
story.
huge component
There's
of
a
the boho.
for sure a record player and some
No,
records and stuff.
there might-
That's the thing with that too. Yeah. Yeah.
There might be some like paraphernalia in there. For sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Taking some rips in the
Let's
morning.
move on to
Yeah.
the
Okay.
next style.
Okay.
None of us are really employing boho right now.
Mhm.
But
Unfortunately. But we
respect you
did.
you young ladies that are trying to, you're figuring it all out. So.
Definitely.
So, new traditional is the next one, and we were
Okay.
talking about this
Same.
before we recorded, and I was saying like, man, it feels that's like is transitional to me.
Mhm.
But Jess made some good points, so let's
Yeah, so I'll define it. New traditional is a modern take on classic design. It's grounded in timeless principles, but updated for how we live today. It respects history without being stuck in it. Think of this as an elegant but edited with an eye toward balance, proportion, and subtle personality. It's traditional, but with a twist. New traditional is gracious and timeless with just enough modernity to keep it feeling current. You guys know those traditional homes that are so trad that you're pretty sure you lived like that once before and your mom or your grandma did it. And especially right now because the 90s are kind of having this resurgence. And I get a little itch under my collar when I see them completely interpreted almost the exact same way. The palette might be different. So I tend toward new traditional. I like a fresher take on it. I still think I still think you can employ some of the old tricks which make it feel historical and expensive. And you have, I think everything's done in really high taste, good taste. But if you take a fresher palette, then I think it feels more like new traditional instead of the way that our parents did it.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
So it's about honing the past while making space for the new with a fresh lens on the whole thing. So let's show them a few images. Those of you watching, you can tune in for this. If not, we'll try and describe them. So in this room, we've got this is kind of space planning. You've got the sofa face-off, and we have two, I'd call them olive green velvet sofas doing a face-off with a fireplace at the end of the room, a gilded mirror over top, beautiful gold or brass bowl fixture. I do feel like the cocktail table is a little bit more simple and transitional.
Yeah.
But then you have that
a little bit more Parsons looking.
Yep. And then you have that sort of empire side table that's got a marble top. But then I feel like all the styling is really bright and poppy and happy and almost Kate Spade.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like Tory Burch lives here. So I think those fresh fashion sort of complements and colors that you're using can give you that fresh, that new traditional feeling, where the old traditional might use hunter green or
they might be law books.
Yeah,
encyclopedia, like a
and
bunch
the
of
jewel
encyclopedias.
tones will all be employed, and it will feel more serious.
Yeah, they collected art pieces and stuff around, had little frames everywhere. Yeah.
So if you like parts about traditional, but you love this sort of update with a fresher palette, you could tell people your style is new traditional. I think the difference between this and transitional, I feel like transitional leads, it is blending contemporary with traditional. More edited. I feel like it's more edited, and I feel like the palette is generally more calm. Yeah. They're not employing all the jewel tones.
It's not as poppy. No.
Yeah. More images. I love this take on new traditional.
I do too.
We've got a lot of really beautiful stain grade paneling that are happening on the mantle, the walls. I call those like almost Gothic windows. Yeah. Beautiful ceiling with plaster molding on it. And then furniture, we've got multiple rugs, a huge rug grounding the whole space, and then multiple antique rugs loaded on here. But then that modern art really sort of slaps it in the face and keeps the room interesting.
It's a modern sculpture over this fireplace with all this like natural wood paneling on the wall, white plaster up top, steel windows, massive rugs, but all relatively neutral.
The silhouettes,
except for that cobalt
very
sculpture.
Traditional, and lots of pattern. We've got tapes on the bottom of the chair skirts. We've got
scallops on the end tables,
velvets. Yeah, so a lot of really expensive things happening here, but the palette feels fresh, and the art is really doing a lot for the space. I think
completely, yeah.
Yeah, so the palette, I think the palette makes it feel mostly that new traditional. Let's talk about mid-century. This is a style I find a lot of men are really drawn to in the work that we do. Generally, he likes some form of contemporary, or he'll usually reference mid-century, and he usually wants one of those iconic chairs, right, in his space. He has one at his work. He wants one at home. It really defines his style. He feels like he feels at one with mid-century design. Sue, tell him about mid-century.
Okay, mid-century design, you all are familiar with it, and we've done like podcasts on it before, but we're going to give you a definition. Mid-century modern is a design style that emerged in the post-World War II era, roughly 1945 to 1969. It's characterized by simplicity, functionality, and a belief that good design should be accessible to everyone. The look is clean, optimistic, and often organic, celebrating form and innovation without excess. It's design that quietly says more with less. So again, you had a lot of, as far as just like designers, architects that were creating furniture to go inside these architectural like monuments, right? Mid-century design. And so the outside speaks really well with the interior with this type of furniture. And you feel a lot of these like cantilevered ceilings that are like the same material outside going inside and vice versa. And so it's all a very natural, organic thing with a lot of discipline in the furniture. I actually love, the older I get, the more respect. The more respect as far as like when you go down to the roots of mid-century and you experience some spaces, like I love it. And I think that there's a place of a little bit in every home.
Can you imagine being alive at the time? This feels so original.
Yeah.
for
completely.
that. Like you've never experienced it before. You know how fun that is? It was like how you had never experienced boho before and then you did in that moment.
I smelled the incense. I was just like, yes. It's not Bath and Body
Take me
Works.
to your leader. I'm all in.
I love it.
Like imagine experiencing mid-century for the first time.
It would feel so fresh.
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think so too. This is how, these are some key attributes of it. Clean lines, geometric forms, sleek straight lines with soft curved silhouettes. There's no frills, ornamentation, or excessive detailing, just strong, purposeful shapes. Every element's intentional. Furniture is designed to be lived with, not looked at. Often lightweight and low slung. That low slung thing.
It's a very
right? Think Eames, Saarinen, Nelson, Wagner, bent plywood, fiberglass shell chairs, tapered legs, pedestal bases, pieces that feel sculptural but approachable. And then the materials they used were wood, like walnut, teak, rosewood, and then they used leather, glass, and metal. And materials were often combined in innovative ways, like wood and molded plastic or steel. So it's things that you just hadn't seen before as furniture, and these shapes just were so iconic and are still today, and everybody still collects these things, or if they're still being programmed, they purchase these things at full list.
And such a break from traditional.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. I like Sue said, I feel like there's pieces of mid-century modern that everybody could use, you know? To me, honestly, when I see an entire space that's mid-century, it feels a little stale to me. But using elements of it, here and there is like, it can create great interest, I think.
I agree.
You know what we did in Angie Harrington's House of Harrington?
Yeah.
There was a couple of vintage moments in her house that I think shined so beautifully amongst all of her collections. Like I love that style. So that's why I'm like, I feel like every house needs some of this discipline.
And just the clean lines, of it all. It feels so good when there's a lot of other things going on.
Yep.
It's that tension between the two is so good. Another key component, which I think is really hot right now that we took from mid-century, is large windows and indoor plants.
Yep.
And an emphasis on indoor-outdoor living. That we got that from mid-century. And now today we see like all the nano walls here. It would just be a sliding glass door. Right. But today we took that from them where we have the whole wall that opens up and you want that inside and the outside. The views are definitely a part of how you're living. And I know everybody today wants bigger windows than ever before. And a lot of us are growing plants inside. I know I am. I feel like it does so much for space. You're just finishing up a modern home right now in Vegas. And the first step we did was let's bring in plants.
Yep.
So we learned it from them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Which is really cool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think, you know how we always say like, the older you get, the more like edited and simple you want things. You pare things back. I feel a little bit of that right now.
Yeah.
Like even though I just got a pattern drug, I know.
You're feeling that because you got the pattern
Yeah,
drug.
exactly.
Or just like, even like, because I think I'm like, what do I want this like land to have? Or what do I want this house to look like? Anyway, I do want like something a little bit more tailored and a little bit more modern or like inventive. And I don't know if it's just like this itch or something as you get older to kind of pull back and like be disciplined and do things on the interior that you would. Anyway, so it is interesting that as you kind of go through your design journey, like what you're drawn to, and like how you feel in space. I think these images are really, I think it indicates a lot.
You feel calming.
You're not
feeling your new rug in there.
No, look at all those solids.
And you also love nature.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
Which makes tons of sense. Organic modern. I think this is another one that's high on our list. We feel this a lot in Utah, especially where we live, mostly because we have Park City, the mountains, Heber City, and this is a style that a lot of people with a second home want to employ. So we'll just, Sue, do you want to define organic modern for them?
Of course, yep. Organic modern is an interior design style that blends the clean lines and minimalist aesthetic of modern design with the warmth and natural elements of organic materials. It creates a harmonious balance between contemporary and natural aesthetics, often featuring natural materials like wood, stone, and plants alongside sleek modern furniture.
Yeah, definitely. So where modern feels like very like white and cold and chrome and very simple, this is bringing in those natural materials like Sue said, your wood, your stone, your linen, your clay, your plaster walls, your wool, your leather. So there's like honest living materials. Your surfaces are matte and raw rather than polished. And you're even seeing like unfinished oak, honed marble, ceramics. And it's just something that feels really soft, even though it's modern. It's very clean. There's sculptural forms. Like right now, we're showing you a room where you've got a very organic shaped white sectional that's interesting to look at. And then you've got these beautiful organic tables that are mixing with it, big, huge boucle chairs, caning. So I think this is the way to do modern if you're doing it today. This also feels very California to me.
Very.
Yeah. And I think this is a really nice way to live. A lot of natural light. This space is stunning. Windows being a huge thing. And then look at all the natural materials in that room. The palette's so easy on the eyes. Nothing.
The trees are the sculpture out the window.
Yeah.
Like everything else is pretty straight, but all organic material.
Curved sofas.
This one's lovely.
Again, big trees. They have paneling on the walls here, but ceramics are celebrated on top of beautiful pedestals.
It's more of a texture story than a pattern story.
Yeah.
Like texture and form.
Yep.
Okay.
Art Deco.
Art Deco.
Yeah, this is a fun one. We're kind of playing around in Deco land right now.
I think so, yeah. We have a whole home that's actually Art Nouveau, which was a predecessor to Art Deco. And anyway, but Art Deco, I think we'll just read the definition.
Art Deco is a decorative style that flourished in the 20s and 30s, defined by its embrace of glamour, geometry, modernity. Think the Empire State Building, right?
Eiffel Tower, not the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, it symbolized luxury and progress in the post-war era, post-World War I era, an optimistic, bold look that drew from both ancient influences and emerging technologies. It's all about drama, symmetry, polish with a heavy dose of opulence. Oh,
that it is.
You guys think how fun that would be to be alive just after the war and then have all of this progress come out. That whole Empire State Building is stainless steel. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. I mean, I feel the same way about Art Deco that I do about mid-centuries, that it's a ton, but again, like
they were all in.
But the respect.
All in. Yeah. So much respect. And the fact that it's so definitive is super cool.
Definitely. What else do we want to say about Art Deco? I don't know.
I think it's just the lines and the geometry.
Yeah.
You know, I think we've done a few different podcasts like talking about Art Deco, and it is honestly, you guys, I remember doing a lot of the research, but the Design Through the Decades podcast was really, really fun. It was like a 2-segment thing where we went through a lot of these design styles, not these specific ones, but historic design styles in great depth. And it talks a little bit more about like why things were like the reaction to the thing before, which I always find fascinating in a history lesson.
Yep.
And again, these like straight lines was kind of like a reaction to, again, Art Nouveau, the true craftsmen, you know, and like some of those organic movements and just these strict lines and the industrialization of just materials and that's why you feel such a strictness with Art Deco and the stacking and the steppings. And
I would say my favorite part about Art Deco is like the moodiness of it. And it's just really, I mean, it really is just like a cool vibe. And
I like it for commercial spaces. Like I think it'd be fun to eat in a restaurant or maybe go into a hotel lobby and stay there.
Go want to dress up.
Yeah, me too.
And go.
Yeah, I don't want to live like this, but I respect it. And I think if I was doing a commercial space, something like this, if it made sense, would be a lot of fun to explore and have other people have a big experience in a space with Deco. So interesting that it came up as top design styles for 25.
Yeah. This is our last
one, guys.
Scandinavian. This style, or Scandi, is design philosophy from the Nordic countries like Denmark, Sweden, Norway, and Finland. Think Suzanne Hall. Everybody look at Sue.
I know.
These are her people.
I'm really pale.
It emphasizes simplicity, functionality, and quiet beauty rooted in a lifestyle that values comfort, light, and connection to nature. It's design with a soul, minimal but never cold. This was, we worked on a project called St. John's, and the husband's favorite style was this sort of Scandinavian. And in some roundups from our publishing agents, they're calling this like Californian, where I do think this look is so great on the coast because it is so like light wash,
Beachy.
big windows,
Yeah.
beachy, exactly.
Yeah,
It's
beachy,
blonde floors.
Sun-drenched materials, linens.
Yep. And then you can start to get some of those Scandinavian forms in if you're pure, like through the shapes of the chairs. You guys know we love chairs. And they're going to bring in certain forms. I mean, you can see there's a papasan in this room. Do you guys remember those from Pier 1? That great big round
Sure do.
cushion. We're like, why aren't my parents cool enough to get a freaking papasan for our house?
If you like boho, you like that at some point too.
Exactly.
But there's always a wood element to the frame. Which,
It's a warm wood. It's warm whites. It's textural story completely.
yeah, ivory leathers. It's an easy palette to be in. And the first time you experience it, you're like, oh, whoa.
Am I in a dream?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so cool.
I live on a cloud, painted white floors. We're looking at a second image too now. This is like the last image.
You have a painted white floor, Sue.
I do.
You didn't know, but you are Scandinavian.
Yeah.
You get
Just
it
go
from
to your
your
roots. Yeah.
My Nordic roots.
Yeah.
Exactly. But like everything is kind of like painted white, but everything on top of it is relatively neutral. So it's a really easy, it's easy on the eyes. I'll say that. So
Yep. And I think a play for materiality, a lot of, like you said, woods and wovens and textures are in play, but softer forms. I mean, you can even see this cocktail table with this slightly rounded corner, but it's peaceful.
lovely.
I'd
Very
say
peaceful.
all in all.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys, that is our last style that we were going to talk about today. I hope that this helps you guys identify your own style as you listen to these and watch them. And maybe you're a mashup of a few things like Sue is. And
I think we all are.
we all are.
We all are a little mashup.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what makes it interesting these
I
days.
know. I'm
Yeah.
like, especially being like exploring your own personal style. Like it's to really kind of like grab a little here, grab a little there, and like create something great.
Totally.
So there you go. Choose 2 of your favorite, 3, 4, mash them up. That's your personal style. I hope this helps. Thank you guys for listening. Please go check out our online store at alicelanehome.com. You can use a special code for listening, and you're going to get 20% off. It's Dear Alice 20. So go get yourself something really nice. Please rate, review, comment, share the podcast. It helps us grow. And thanks again for tuning in. We're going to catch you guys next time. Hey, thanks for listening. If you like our show, please leave a 5-star rating.